Welcome to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Yes, good morning and welcome back to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. What a night. Last night it was for Liverpool. We go into the final in excellent form. 7 wins in all comps in a row. Really looking forward to this preview, and it wouldn't be right for me to have anyone else apart from this fella on. You've seen me with him on this channel many times. You've seen me with him on DR Sports as well, part of the Saturday Football Show. It's my Don, man like Matisse. How are we doing, fella?
Very, very good. It's a good morning, do you know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to this game, and it's only a few days away. Somebody's not going to be very happy, innit? So I'm smiling and getting out the smiles now.
One of us is going to be very sad on Sunday, I can't lie. The good thing is, though, you've just secured your ticket for the game.
Yeah.
I'm hearing face value as well.
Yeah, somehow, some way. So listen, I'm excited now. I'm really excited because it's actually my first time, I think, going to a cup final. I think I've gone to a lot of semi-finals, but never a final. It's always shagged me some way. So I'm looking forward to this. Yeah,
I've got my ticket as well. Very much looking forward to it. If there are any Reds in the chat that are going down on Sunday, we will be doing fan cams outside Wembley. But yeah, if you want to come over and say hi and meet up, then do let me know in the chat. Before we get into anything today, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. When I tell you, we are less than 200 away from 20k on the channel. We've actually done, and this is all thanks to you guys, we've actually done almost 10,000 subs in 6 weeks. So it's crazy. I mean, we were talking at Christmas, can we get to 10k? I think we got just 10k at Christmas, and then now we're on 20k mid-Feb. So unbelievable from you guys. Just make sure that by Sunday, trust me, we're on 20k. I'd love to see that. Big up to Memes World, Liverpool. The quadruple is on. Love from India. You never walk alone. You never walk alone. All right, let's look at first Chelsea perspective, and then we can talk about Liverpool all we want after. But Matisse, as you said in the Saturday Football Show last week, Chelsea's performances haven't been maybe vintage, but in the last few weeks, you've still been getting the results. I mean, in the Premier League, you obviously beat Crystal Palace, which I think made it 2 wins in 5. So not the best form there. But in the Cups and in the Champions League, Chelsea doing okay. Not raising the roof, but doing okay. Could you be happier with your preparation going into this final on Sunday?
I think it's been good. I think I definitely could be happier because obviously Mateo Kovacic and Hakim Ziyech came off slightly injured there in the game against Lille. So they're massive doubts, and that's a big issue for us because they've been some of our best players in recent months. Kova's been by far and away our best midfielder in terms of consistency, and Ziyech has been probably our best player in the attack over the last 2 or 3 months. So big misses if they aren't available. But in terms of results, 100% agree with you. Clean sheets are racking up, which is nice. We still have to be granted that the opposition, is obviously going to be a lot stronger, and your attack is going to be ridiculously strong after you added Diaz to that in the summer. But yeah, it's a good situation to come into. I'm quietly confident, mainly because of the fact that Lukaku didn't play against Lille. We was much better going forward with Kai up top, spearheading the attack, much better link up, much better connections, better transitions, and just 11 players all pulling in one direction. It's been pretty disjointed in the attack since Lukaku's finished that interview. So if he doesn't start against Liverpool, then I think we've got a better chance. I think if he starts, then Van Dijk is going to have an absolute field day because this is exactly what he wants to come up against is someone like Lukaku.
How interesting is that the man you spent 100 million on less than a year ago, you've just said we've got a better chance of winning if he doesn't play.
Yeah.
I mean, I know your thoughts about the whole interview. I was with you when it happened. You were actually on this channel.
Yeah.
On this channel. We got the exclusive. But since then, what does he now have to do to regain the trust? Or is it too late now? Because let's face it, he's not exactly making up for this on the pitch. He got 7 touches in the whole game against Palace. Yes, he scored 2 in the World Club Cup in different games, but it's mental that you're even saying we've got a better chance without him. 100 million.
Yeah, and it's a popular opinion. It's a popular opinion amongst the Chelsea fan base. Is no one really wants to see him start whatsoever. We definitely feel like we've done decent against Liverpool recently. Obviously, the 2 draws this season. the game which was directly after the interview, which we played 2-2 at the Bridge. He didn't obviously play that game. That was a very spirited performance from us. And then obviously the game at Anfield. But to be honest, at Anfield, he wasn't brilliant. The transitions were there in the first half before we went down to 10 men, and he was awful in those transitions. His decision making wasn't great. The weight of pass was poor. His big game record is not good either. So yeah, Lukaku not being in this team, it is shocking to a degree, obviously, because he's a big money signing. But the thing I've been pushing home is that Havertz is also a big signing as well. He cost £72 million. He's much younger, and he's, for me, got a much higher ceiling in terms of his ability as well. So we should really be prioritizing that in terms of a long-term expensive asset. I think when it comes down to Lukaku, we're talking about whether he can redeem himself. It's all about performance. I said when the apology came out that I didn't really care. I didn't even really listen to the full video. I sporadically managed to get through it, but it was probably off a teleprompter. It's not something that is going to make up for what you've done interview for interview. It's not one for one. you gotta put in some performances, and since then we haven't had the performances, so we're still waiting, and he's got until the summer to get it done. Otherwise we're going to be looking for some sort of exit here.
Yeah, I mean, you say we're going to be looking for an exit, which I don't blame you for saying that. I mean, if our team bought someone for 100 mil and then this happens, there's not many options on the table. You either absolutely play out of your skin and make us forget the whole debacle, or you just leave because you're obviously not enjoying your time, and it's a waste of money. And I think if we did that, I'd be saying exactly the same thing as you. But if you're looking at the options on the table, let's say this carries on and he doesn't play well for the rest of the season. I can't see, he would have to score at least 10 goals to maybe turn people's heads around from here on in. We're in just about mid-Feb. So he's got a lot of work to do. Let's say he doesn't do that. What are the options on the table? Because you paid 100 mil. You're going to take a big O on this in terms of financially. Who could he go to? I think he's already burnt his bridge with Inter. I mean, there is a player there. We've all seen across the years how many goals he scored for Belgium, and all the goals added up. It's impressive. So someone will take him, but who buys him, and who do you then replace him with?
I think the most realistic option is probably like a loan, and it's sporadic throughout his Chelsea contract, which we've seen plenty of times before when big money signings sign a long-term contract and then they end up being a bust. We tend to loan them out for 10-15 million pound loan fees each year and try and recuperate the money that way, which is definitely something that I think clubs would maybe look at instead of paying the whole fee, just maybe taking him on loan. The biggest issue is the wages. I think he's on like 300 and something grand a week, which is a huge issue for us. I think the only club that apparently in reports, he would take a wage cut, and I think he would. Lukaku is one of those individuals that, as much as he obviously would like to make, his money, he also can't handle the stress of being a failure at a club. We saw it with Manchester United. He was quick to get out of there. And I think he'd be quick to get out of Chelsea as well if it's not going right. I think he's definitely someone who wants to be loved. Ironically for him, when he is given that love, he kind of throws it back in the face and searches for love elsewhere, ends up getting it in neither place, as you said, with the Inter Milan fans. But in terms of realistic clubs that could look at him, I think Atletico Madrid could do with a striker. Suarez is obviously coming towards the end now. You look at Felix, he hasn't really kicked up any trees there. That could be a potential swap, maybe. It's not easy to do swaps in modern day football. I don't see it happen often, but I tweeted last night, although Felix comes with some risks because his injury record is a little bit touch and go. Of course, he's, will he be able to handle the physicality of the Premier League? But I would take a Felix Lukaku swap if that was even a possibility, because I think, first of all, Felix is much better suited to our team. He's, for a possession-based team, he's just far better on the ball and better at, manipulating the ball, creating opportunities. And that's what we need in a low block. I think we've got too many counter-attacking players for a team that want to play with possession. It's very strange. And, it is coming with risks, but both teams will have to take that gamble. And I think Lukaku suits Atletico as well, transitional striker, counter-attacks. So I think it could work, but it's very unlikely that swap deals get done these days, isn't it?
Yeah, I could see maybe him going there. I could see him scoring a few goals for Atletico with the service that he'll get. But you mentioned João Felix. Yes, he scored last night, but if he can't do it in the La Liga week in, week out, how on earth is he going to do it in the Premier League?
Well, I mean, Coutinho is struggling out there, and then he comes to the Premier, he looks good. You never know.
In the Prem, though.
You know,
Coutinho is Coutinho because of the Prem Coutinho that we saw.
yeah,
Felix, if he can't muscle his way, and let's face it, he doesn't start every week for Atleti. And this is a kid who was bought for what, 130 mil? A couple like 2019 after one really good season with Benfica. And I've seen him play, bro. I've seen him at Anfield. I've seen him at Luanda, and he gets knocked off the ball. Yes, of course, he's a little technician. He's a magician on his day. But I'm just thinking on your behalf, how on earth is he going to fight his way around the Premier League pitch? Listen, we're speaking hypothetically here. It's no guarantees, but it'd be interesting to see how that Lukaku deal ends up, because it's quite clear that both parties aren't happy with what they've paid for. Lukaku's not happy. The club aren't happy with Lukaku. So where do you go from here? Very interesting. From a Chelsea perspective, looking at Liverpool, you've seen us. I mean, you saw Liverpool beat Norwich on Saturday. Luis Diaz gets his first goal. You saw the big win last night against Leeds, 6-0. I mean, from our point of view, bro, to let you know, I don't think we could have come into this final in any better form, which obviously gives us massive hope. Yeah. But how has it been from your perspective, this kind of upturn in form for Liverpool?
It's rough watching, I must say. It's rough watching. That attack is very, very dangerous. You know, Diaz. I said it yesterday on the show. Diaz has fired the rocket up Mane's arse, and then Mane obviously scoring that penalty in the AFCON final has charged up Salah, and that is just like a conveyor belt of charge and motivation. Exactly. They're all just trying to outdo each other. I think Firmino and Jota are out. I'm not sure if they'll be back for the final or not.
Apparently, they were both very close to being in the squad last night, but they're both back on Sunday. So I'm not going to lie to you in terms of an attacking options that we've got. And don't forget, Origi came on last night and assisted for the 5th goal. So there's Origi, Minamino's fit, Salah, Mane, Firmino, Jota, and Diaz. 7 players there to bruck up your blood.
It's not great. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of attackers on the table. Your attack is something that does worry me, because I've always rated your scouting in terms of attack. I knew when Diaz got here, he was gonna do well. It's so obvious. It's such a Liverpool signing to make. And obviously as well, you know, you look at the other areas of the team. Obviously, the 2 fullbacks, they'll be looking to create opportunities from out wide as well. I think the game for us, it's going to be very interesting to see who dominates possession. I've seen that in the comments there. Yeah. It is going to be interesting. I think a lot of these games recently have been very 50-50 in terms of who's trying to dominate. I think it suits both teams as well not to overly dominate possession, not to try and control the game completely in terms of, you know, holding the ball. Because listen, Liverpool are one of the most frightening teams ever in transition and on the break. You know, you got all that pace up front. Why would you want to create a low block for yourself? And Chelsea's kind of a similar situation. You know, Havertz would love a little bit of space to run into up against the centre-backs. You know, Werner definitely wants the space. Pulisic wants the space. We're not great against low blocks either. So it's 2 teams that would probably prefer to have a bit of space in behind. And for that reason, I think the possession will be quite equal. Obviously, I think Jorginho will probably start. That will give us a little bit of possession. But then, obviously, in midfield, we're going to have to give ourselves some cover. For any counters. I think Mason Mount, if he is fit, will probably be pivotal in matching up 3v3. The one player that no one speaks about often enough for me is Harvey Elliott. If he starts on that right-hand side of the midfield, and then it's Trent and Salah are down there, I do worry about our left-hand side massively, because our only options are Malang Sarr and Marcus Alonso, and neither of them, for me, can handle that level of threat. So that is the one area of the pitch that I think Liverpool will target, and that will be potentially our undoing if we're not having a good day out there.
Where do you think this game is won and lost? Because we've seen the 2 games this season already, super tight affairs. You've had a comment here which kind of sums up what the games were like. They were both, I mean, they were cagey and they weren't, because there was massive moments when you was totally open, massive moments when we were totally open at that game at the Bridge. But if we're looking at the goalkeeper, obviously very, very matched there with Mendy and Alisson. I would give it to Alisson just over him. And then the defence, you'd have to go with maybe a mixture of both. Chelsea's defence still this season has been incredible. But Liverpool's obviously both centre-backs scored last night. We've got Trent and Robbo. The midfield, I think, is where this game is won and lost. I think If Kante plays, that obviously gives you something a bit extra in terms of the experience. But who else is going to start in the middle for you lot? Because for us, I'm not going to lie, it's looking like it will be Thiago, Henderson and Fabinho, which is our favourite three, I think. You mentioned Harvey Elliott there. If he starts, amazing. I think in a final, that would be my three in the midfield, which offers you a little bit of everything. What are Chelsea going to go with in the middle?
I think it's Kova obviously picking up that knock against Lille has made it a little bit touch and go with him, and I think it's likely he starts on the bench, which is unfortunate because he played the game at Stamford Bridge, and I think he matches the intensity very well, and he's been our best midfielder. But I think it will end up being Jorginho and Kante, which of course, you know, that pivot is probably more balanced as well in terms of Jorginho will sit, and there won't be so many gaps maybe in between the lines. I think the only worry I have is that, of course, you know, if you do catch us on the break and Kante is caught very high up the pitch, then we could be in some trouble. So I hope we do make some sort of plan for that, and I'm sure we will. I don't think we'll leave ourselves exposed. I hope not tactically. We do tend to be quite good in these big games and not getting ripped apart at all there. But I think Mason Mount will be key. You know, if he's fit, Mason Mount's a guy that's played, you know, most of our big games when he's available. Real Madrid last season was a big example of that away from home. You know, you've got Kroos, Casemiro, Modric. It's very important to match 3v3. You guys are obviously going to go with the 3 men in midfield. So I wouldn't want to be outnumbered by your midfield in a 3v2. I'd want Mason Mount tucking in there to make it 3v3. And sometimes then you're in a 3-5-2, but at least then you're not getting outnumbered in midfield. I question going with a back four in this game against your front three as well. Because I just think that could be a problem. I don't trust the left back situation enough to defend 1v1. I'd prefer Rudiger's cover out there and just have a little bit more numbers. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I think Jorginho and Kante will start in there with Mason Mount just ahead.
Interesting. That would be a good team. It would be a good team. It's obviously got experience there. To be fair, I did just say there that Alisson for me starts over Mendy, even though it's tight. Klopp has confirmed, though, that Kelleher starts this final. I mean, he's played in every game in the League Cup so far, apart from the first leg of the semi against Arsenal. That was Alisson's first ever League Cup game for Liverpool in his 4 years that he's been here. Does this mean that Chelsea go with Kepa in goal then?
I hope not.
Yeah, right. You can see what's happening. The Kelleher and Kepa starting, right?
I'm not a big fan of this at all. I'm not a big fan of the whole play your cup goalkeeper.
An emotional tradition, right?
Yeah, it is. But I'm all about picking up the trophy, and obviously, like the strongest team's got to start. For me, Mendy goes in goal 100%. Kepa did play the semi-final of the Club World Cup. Mendy comes in for him again in the final, and I think that's the way it should be. Listen, Kepa's definitely great for moments like penalty shootouts, and obviously he's a great addition. If we can bring him onto the pitch, if we get to a penalty shootout, you know, in extra time, he's fantastic. But you got to go with the goalkeeper who's, you know, been picking up all the individual accolades, the one who won the AFCON. He's in good form. He's been keeping clean sheets. I wouldn't change that. And just from every goalkeeper's perspective, Mendy is better than Kepa outside those penalty shootouts for me. Ball playing ability, you know, I think they're both kind of similar. There's been, you know, probably some errors leading to goals from Kepa over his Chelsea career, just as much as there is Mendy. So I don't think that's enough to sway it either. So yeah, I would go with Mendy in goal. I'm quite surprised to see Klopp's doing that, but
yeah, this is the thing. Yeah. If you ask Liverpool fans who they want to start, it's obviously Alisson. I think that's clear. You start your best goalkeeper in a final, especially in a final. But at the same time, Klopp has been so loyal to Kelleher, especially throughout the League Cup, because it's been a trophy that's maybe been underappreciated by Klopp. And I say that with quotation marks because in his first season at Liverpool, he gets to the final. We play Mignolet in goal. And to be fair, he should have dropped Alberto Moreno for that final because that's the reason we lost it, mixed in with Mignolet because they're both awful, to be fair. But he's shown so much loyalty to Kelleher. And he's already come out in the press and say, listen, Kelleher is who I'm going to play with. So you can make up all your stories, but that's who I'm going to go with. So if you go with Kelleher, do you go with the weaker team around him, which is no offense to Kelleher, of course. But if you're playing a keeper who, let's face it, was used to playing in teams that are a little bit weaker in this competition, does it make sense for you to play him, but then play Matip and Berge and Robertson and Trent? I don't know. Let me know in the comments, guys. Who do you want to see start this final? A couple of funny comments coming in here. Big up to Khalid. Chelsea fans would prefer playing Liverpool over Arsenal in cup finals. Arsenal dominated them the last 2 FA Cup finals. This one's funny though, from man like Sir Idol 14. Chelsea's funding finna dry up like the Sahara Desert. Get ready for them sanctions, boy. Obviously, your owner getting involved in a potential World War III right now.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, Chelsea, if anything, need to spend a lot less.
Yeah, been spending too much.
Yeah, not very smart with some of the big transfers that we've made. Actually, that 30 to 50 million pound range, I'd like a lot more. If we could start scouting in that area, that'd be a lot better.
What do you think of Pulisic at the minute? Because he scored the other night, did a shocking little celebration, which was embarrassing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I hate stuff like that. I can't even lie to you. There was no competition in it anyway. But he was a player. You mentioned the 30 to 50 mil mark. Was he in that bracket? And how impressed have you been with him so far?
I think he was around that 52, so just ahead of that. And Pulisic's a strange one because I believe in his potential. I've got patience for him. He is inconsistent. He has been moved around a lot this year as well, probably more than any other player. He's had to play striker back-to-back games against Everton and Wolves. He's played right wing back as well. A few of the time. So he's been moved about quite a bit, and his best position is on the left wing. The big thing for him is staying clear of injuries. Obviously, he scored against Palace at the start of the season and he was missing for about 2 months. And then he's only just come back into the frame. Then we started picking up some injuries and he had to kind of do that squad, James Milner kind of job of just filling in holes and gaps. And the key for him is consistency. I think sometimes we overcomplicate his game a bit too much. And for me, it's much better for him to be running behind if possible. Use him kind of like a Timo Werner, not really dropping so deep and dribbling into cul-de-sacs. I think his vision and his awareness of the player ahead of him and the right pass at the right time is not the best. But he is a good finisher. He is a good dribbler. So if you've got him running in behind, he's one of probably the best players we've got in terms of 1v1 and trying to score those goals and coming at back post. That's what he did under Lampard, arriving late in the box, getting goals, running in behind lines. So if he does play on the weekend, he's got to be looking to take advantage of Liverpool's high line, get in behind them, and try and get on the end of things and try and score goals. I do think you guys will probably play a minimum mid block kind of line. So you do tend to push up a bit. So yeah, he's got to try and take advantage of that.
Interesting to see if he plays on Sunday. This for a stat is unbelievable. I knew it already, but I'll read it out again. Goalkeeper says, did you know that the last time Virgil lost a Premier League game at Anfield was when he played for Southampton in 2017? He's actually played 59 games at Anfield for Liverpool. He's won 51 and lost 0. Big up to you, mate, all the way from Australia. Big fan. Love your stuff, mate. Just asking, is playing Kelleher the best option to start in the final? That's the question we've been talking about. But in the press conference, he apparently does not 100% confirm it. He says, let's see at the end. So who knows? Who knows? And if it goes to penalties, you might just see Kelleher come on. Mitch, who's a big fan, says, Havertz worries me. Big game player. Scored a header at Anfield earlier in the season. Scores the winner to win you the Champions League. Scores the winner in the Club World Cup. Maybe a little bit poor in terms of Premier League output so far. In the big game moments, bro, he seems to be there. He seems to be there or thereabouts. Yeah,
he doesn't get nervous, that's for sure. When the big moments come, that's one of his. That is probably his biggest attribute right now, as he is a big game player. You're right, the consistency in the Premier League is not really there. But I would love to see him just start a run of games up top. I think the Lukaku signings kind of messed him up a bit because he was starting up front at the back end of last season. Like I said, at the Champions League final, he started up top. And that could have been maybe the way forward to move into this season. But then obviously we've gone and signed a traditional number 9 and it kind of moves his position again. So this is the key, what I mentioned earlier about Lukaku potentially leaving, is that not only is it good for Kai to then get some stability in his position, but also Amanda Brozier at Southampton as well. If you want to look at keeping him, you need to create some room there. So yeah, I think Kai hopefully can play up top and establish some sort of run. But I think the key for Kai is just to bring the same intensity and obviously kind of a little bit of shithousery that he does sometimes. I think he needs to bring a bit more of that. I know he's more of a nonchalant,
You love
I
that.
do, because I think when you bring that to the table as a player, I think it helps your game. A lot of the time, it pushes you on the ball to be a little bit more snappy and a little bit more decisive. If you've got that chip on your shoulder, just that little 10%, I think when you're playing, it gives you that extra edge. And we've seen it with Ziyech. You know, Ziyech was one of those nonchalant kind of players who kind of just went with the wind and whatever happened. And then I think, I don't know if he must have had a conversation with Tuchel behind doors just to listen. You're out the Morocco team. You need to fix up, because you can't be on the bench here and then out of the national team. Also, that's just not a good look. And I saw his improvement before. I talked about quality on the pitch and output. I was seeing him pressing a lot faster, getting involved in duels, and just being a lot snappier on the ball. And then when he did receive it, then he's moving a lot faster on the ball and he's making decisions a lot quicker. And he's spotting things better, and the output improves. So I think it does start with your mentality when you get on the pitch, for sure.
What do you make about this stuff with Abramovich now claiming Israeli citizenship, which allows him into the country? Because he was banned from entering this country, right? So
yeah,
I think Liverpool has it here. He's claimed Israeli citizenship. That was a loophole for him to return to London. Can't return for work apparently, but he can just be there. He's technically Israeli now.
Yeah, I think that was a while ago that happened. I don't think that was anything new. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure he's able to enter London for a minimum of a few months now. And like you said, can't work here but can enter the country. So I'm pretty sure that's been the case for a while, maybe even a year or so. It's just he just hasn't really come back until I think a few months ago. So
very, very interesting. Liverpool fans in the chat here are hoping that Lukaku starts ahead of Havertz, which again you mentioned earlier. I think Virgil and Joel Matip would be happier if they saw Lukaku start. I think because they just know what's expected of them to do. But yeah, for Liverpool fans, we definitely want to see Lukaku playing. And Dawes Flicks confirming that we will not be starting James Milner in this midfield this time. Of course, we did in the last League Cup final that we were in 2016. Let's do a little score prediction then, bro, because this is going to be a tough one. You're at the game yourself. You just got your match final tickets today. I got mine yesterday. We're going to be there on Wembley Way. Apparently, I'm not going to lie, the organisation behind this final, shocking. They're not showing the game, apparently, within a mile radius of the stadium, and apparently there's £100 fine if either Liverpool or Chelsea fans are caught drinking within a certain thing of the stadium. Bro, what's going on with football?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That. Like,
didn't know that.
There's all sorts going on. You can't watch it near. What is happening with football, bro? That for me, I mean, listen, we're going to the game, we love the game, what have you, but that for me, it makes me fall out of love with the game. And not because I'm an alcoholic and I want to drink and it's like, I've got a ticket, I'll be inside, but come on, it's a cup final. It's Wembley.
Yeah.
Like, you might as well just. I don't understand what the
let people enjoy. Yeah. I've seen on the ticket as well. I don't know about your one, but on mine, you have to be in the stadium at a certain time period as well. And mine is really, really early. Actually, I think it's between like 2:30 and 3:30. I'm sure. I think kickoff is maybe
4:30, right?
Kickoff's 4:30. Yeah. So I've got to be in the ground according to my ticket an hour before kickoff. I don't know how strict they're going to be on that in terms of if you come after that, but it sounds like they want people in the ground early as well.
Yeah, it's pathetic, man. It really is pathetic. As is said here by Overfloater in the chat. Let us know what you think in the comments. I mean, let us know if you guys are going down to the final on Sunday as well. Obviously, be safe around there. But it seems like the FA, the FA who are involved in this competition, are just trying to make it so inaccessible for the people that can't get tickets. How many people, and you must have been the same, bro.
Yeah.
How many people have tried to get tickets, have approached me for help to get tickets, have asked for ways to get in or some tips and advice, and I'm trying to give it to them. However, they're just trying to make it so difficult for people to go to this. They're pricing people out of the game, and then also, you know what it's like. You've been at Chelsea games where lads might not have tickets to actually get in, but they go to the ground, they go to the pub nearby, and they watch it. They have a drink. Now they're trying to stop that.
Yeah. so now you can't even go anywhere near the ground to watch the game. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro.
Right.
But this has been coming in football for some time. You know, you can see the prices are going up. There's no cap on the prices. I think they should introduce some sort of cap on tickets. To be honest, And yeah, that one about the radius around it, you can't watch the game. I've never heard that before. That's ridiculous.
Well, actually,
Especially in Wembley as well.
Well, this is the thing, right? So for the Euros, I remember we were doing some work at Box Park Wembley. So they're not allowed to show the game that is being played at Wembley. And it's like, again, it's not new. It's like a mile radius kind of thing. But yeah, it just makes me not like football, and it makes me think, well, why are we having this final at Wembley? Let's go to Old Trafford, or let's go to Tottenham, or do you know what I mean? Like, why does it have to be Wembley if they're going to impose all these bans, drinking, no getting in without? Obviously, you don't get in without a ticket, but I can't believe it, man. It's going to be. Hopefully, we both enjoy the day, whatever happens. But I can't. That's really annoyed me before the game's even started. All these restrictions that they're trying to put on it, it's just killing it. He's saying. This has been Chelsea and Russians' money fault. They should be banned from football. There you go. Kop TV, it's eradicating the option for people to enjoy watching the game, 100%. Big up Alex and Matisse, my brothers, combined 11. Let's do a quick one and then we'll get into our score predictions. I know you've got other bits and bobs, bro. So in goal, in the final, Alisson or Mendy, but it doesn't look like Alisson's going to play, or Mendy. So...
Mendy will play. Mendy will play. Trust me. Oh, Mendy will play. If Tuchel doesn't play Mendy, it will be shocking. It will be shocking. Mendy has to play.
If Klopp doesn't play Alisson, I think it will be shocking. So do you know what? It's my channel. I'm going to overrule you.
He just confirmed it.
He said, "Let's see at the end." Apparently. So let's see.
Let me get the goalkeeper because I ain't getting no forwards, bro.
I'll give you to be honest, bro, the back line, I would say Virgil and Thiago Silva. I don't think
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, bro, but I'm going to have to take both fullback positions.
Fair enough.
At the minute, anyway.
To be honest, though, Rudiger has been ridiculous over the last year.
Oh, yeah, but...
And he's probably been better. He's actually been better than Van Dijk. So on form, Rudiger should be in over Van Dijk, just to stop you right there. On form.
Well, but Joel Matip's been better than both of them. So where does he go?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Thiago Silva's been pretty flawless, bro. I don't know about that.
Goal? Did you see Joel's goal last night?
Yeah, he got a goal. That's nice. But Thiago Silva's been one of the best defenders in the world.
Yeah, but I'm not giving you two, am I?
You got to, because you got both the fullbacks. And we know when we get to the top end of the pitch what's going to happen, bro. You know what's going to happen.
If you think on my channel, you think I'm going to give you two centre-backs.
Bro,
I'm not giving you two, bro. Pick
fine.
whoever you want. And I'll give
you Silva. I'm taking Silva.
All right, so Silva and Van Dijk, that has to be the case.
I try my best, people.
Yeah, but look at the channel you're on. Big up to everyone involved, by the way. This is one of the most we've ever had on a live stream, and obviously we're massively looking forward to the game on Sunday. So make sure you smash the likes. So right, the defense is sorted. Did I give you Alice? Did I give you Mendy?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Fucking hell. So I'm too nice on this channel.
You're free to up anyway, and it's not going to get any better when we get to the attack.
We've got both fullbacks. We've got Virgil there. We've got Thiago Silva and Mendy so far. In the midfield, again, bro, I'm taking two, and those two are Fabinho and Thiago. So you can choose your other one.
I think Kante's got to be in there.
Take three.
No. Kante's got to be in there. Kante has to be in there.
I'll give you him then.
Yeah, I mean, who else? Jorginho. I'm not going to lie. Jorginho's not having a stellar season for me to put him in there, and we don't really have anyone else because Kova's not there. Yeah, so yeah, that's fair enough. Unfortunately,
so Fabinho, Thiago, and Kante, and then up top, bro. I mean, again, I'd love to even say that I could give you one. The closest one that I could possibly give you on current form would be Ziyech, but he's injured now.
Ziyech is out for the game. Exactly, Ziyech is not playing.
So, bro, I think you know who it is up top. It's man like Lucho Diaz, it's man like Salah, and it's man like probably Mane, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be Mane, isn't it? Because the other two are just coming back from injury. Yeah.
So what? You've got three there, and you were lucky to get them as well, bro. I can't lie.
This is why I was fighting so hard for the second centre back, because Rudiger's got to be in there, for me to be able to give a little bit of something on this lineup. I needed my two centre backs. I don't know if Ziyech is fit. I don't know. I didn't see that was confirmed, but I know Ziyech was hobbling kind of in the Lille game. But even still, if I'm being completely honest, is Ziyech getting in over Salah? He's not. So
This
let's
is the thing. Ziyech apparently is fit, according to Umani. Obviously, we'll look
Not
that
sure.
up and we'll see nearer the time. But Cameron saying that Conte is the only Chelsea player that gets in the Liverpool squad, not even guaranteed to start.
Oh, Klopp would love Kante.
Yeah,
Let's not be silly
yeah.
here.
I've seen them like embrace after games, and you know what Klopp's like. Goes over to the player after the game, gives him a big Klopp hug to say, "Have a great game today, and if you ever want to come, the door's open." So,
okay, so it was confirmed. Apparently, Ziyech is good. Is there? That's
right.
good.
That is your predicted, combined 11. Let's get on to the score, bro. This is going to be tough. 2 questions for you. Does this end in 90 minutes, and who wins the game?
I don't think it does end in 90 minutes. I think it will go to extra time.
We love a bit of extra time.
We do love a bit of extra time. We do.
Bit of ET coming home.
Yeah, I think I'll put my hat on a 2-1 victory for Chelsea in extra time. It's the same result I went with the Palmeiras game, and it served me well in extra time there as well. So, but again, I'm confident if Lukaku doesn't start. If Lukaku starts, I think we lose a lot and a lot in our team, and I think we probably end up losing the game, to be honest.
Wow, very different answers there. It all depends. The crux is here: does Lukaku start or not? And then it's 2 different answers. Yeah. I'm gonna go. Do you know what? I was talking to someone last night before the game, and I said, if we nick an early goal and we really apply the pressure, I'm talking about let's try and actually kill this off in the first half, then it could be a long evening for Chelsea. And yeah, you've got every right to look at me like that because Chelsea defensively are strong. Right. Listen, I was on AFTV and a man like Julian was saying it will be 4-0 in the first half to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. So it's not the
but I've heard things that Julian likes to give wild takes like that. I'm hearing now a lot now that Julian's giving wild takes. I'm yet to chat to Julian about this.
I'm going to go for a 3-1 Liverpool win.
Wow. 3 goals conceded by Chelsea would be a madness because that never usually happens. But
it doesn't usually happen. But brother, did you? I mean, you might not.
I've seen your attack though. I have, yes.
But
we're not Leeds. Leeds are wide open. Leeds are wide open. I don't know what that football club. They're probably going to end up going down if they're not careful. Rafinha will be available there as well.
Rafinha had a shocker last night. Here's a bit of insight, right? Last night, Rafinha made a good few passes where he literally couldn't. His body language was shocking. Even me, I was going. There was a guy next to me in the Kop who said, "Thank God we're not in for this guy because look at him, he's just walking around the pitch." There was a moment when he did an awful pass, went to mark on a corner, had his hand on the post like that, and had his head down like this. And that Roberts, number 11, went Rafa, and I was 2 rows in, so I could hear this. He went Rafa, and he kind of looked up and he was like, "The fuck's going on? What is going on, mate?" So trust me, Rafinha.
Do you know what it is with Rafinha is that he's in a relegation battle and he doesn't want to be in one. That's what it is.
He knows he's too good for this shit.
Yeah, like relegation battles aren't made for ballers. They're made for the nitty gritty. You know, and that's what he's involved in. So he's probably not gonna. I mean, maybe he might save them, but he's gonna need to be a Sean Maloney for Wigan type vibes. You know what I mean? That's what he's got to do. Anthony as well, a bit of insight. I was watching the Ajax Benfica game and Anthony wasn't great either. So that's 2 Brazilian right wingers that dropped clangers yesterday. So yeah, maybe it will be Jared Bowen instead for you guys.
Or we just keep Luis Diaz. I don't think we're in for Rafinha now. But listen, bro,
after watching that, yeah,
pleasure to have you on as always. It's always great to have Matisse on. We're going to be with each other on Saturday as well, so I'm sure we'll have a little head-to-head there too regarding Sunday's game. But yeah, thank you, bro, for coming on. It's always a pleasure. Big up to everyone who's watched this. Like I said, one of the highest ever views that we've had. We've got 230 people in the live right now, which is amazing. So make sure every single person is liking it. And if every single person in this chat right now subscribed, we'd be on 20,000. So guys, help us get there. Massive one on Sunday. I'll be there at Wembley. So will Matisse. It's Liverpool versus Chelsea. And it's live. Thank you so much for coming on. See you Saturday.
Big up.
Guys, I'll let Matisse go because I know he's got another show to get on. But guys, listen, if you are at Anfield on Sunday, let me know. We'll link up. We'll have a picture, what have you. I will be down there myself doing fan cam straight after the game. I had to wait till Matisse left right? But come on, Liverpool, we need to win this. Come on, it's been 2 years since we haven't won a trophy. Let's go. In the final against Chelsea, we've got revenge from these from 2005 when Gerrard scored an own goal against them and we lost 3-2 in the League Cup final. Mourinho was giving it all this. Gerrard scored an own goal. They were talking about Gerrard going to Chelsea straight after. That can't happen again, right? Can't happen again. We need to win this game. Come on, the Reds. Let's do it. Let's win another trophy under Klopp. What a game it's going to be on Sunday. I'll be there bringing you all the behind-the-scenes action. I cannot wait. I'll see you there. Come on, Liverpool.
Whoa. Just before you go,
Don't forget, give us a like, drop us a comment and subscribe to the Kop TV.
the voice of football's most famous.